The unexpected visitors, the morning of March 15th, 2159, started like any other for Dr. James Morrison. He was reviewing neural mapping data in his laboratory at the Geneva Institute when every screen in the building suddenly displayed the same impossible image. Massive ships, each the size of a small city, hung motionless above every major population center on Earth. The vessels were unlike anything humanity had imagined, their surfaces seeming to shift between metallic bronze and deep emerald, as if crafted from living metal. Dr. Morrison rushed to the observation deck, joining hundreds of other scientists and staff members who stood in stunned silence. Above Geneva, one of the alien vessels cast a shadow that stretched 4 kilometers. Its presence so overwhelming that birds had stopped singing and traffic had come to a complete halt throughout the city. The silence was broken at exactly noon. Universal time, when every communication device on Earth activated simultaneously. The voice that emerged was deep and resonant, speaking in perfect English, Mandarin, Spanish, Arabic, and dozens of other languages with flawless pronunciation and cultural understanding. People of Earth, the voice began, we are the Kethari, guardians of peace and progress throughout this galaxy. We have watched your species with great interest as you have taken your first steps beyond your world. Today, we come not as conquerors, but as teachers and guides. The speaker materialized as a hologram above major cities worldwide. The Kethari were impressive beings, standing nearly 8 feet tall with scaled skin that shimmered with the same bronze-green hue as their ships. Their eyes were large and golden, set in elongated skulls that spoke of advanced intelligence. When the being smiled, revealing teeth that seemed more decorative than functional, the expression was somehow both reassuring and unsettling. I am Ambassador Kethva, speaking on behalf of the Kethari Collective. For 10,000 of your years, we have served as protectors and educators to species throughout this galaxy. We have guided 547 civilizations from primitive beginnings to advanced spacefaring cultures. Today, we extend this same opportunity to humanity. Dr. Morrison found himself both fascinated and wary. As one of Earth's leading experts in neural enhancement technology, he understood the implications of what was being offered. The Kethari spoke of gifts that would advance human civilization by centuries in mere decades. They promised an end to disease, poverty, and the limitations that had bound humanity to a single world. Over the following days, the Kethari demonstrated their sincerity with small but impressive displays of their technology. They provided clean water to drought-stricken regions, delivered advanced medicines to areas ravaged by disease, and shared energy generation techniques that could power entire cities without environmental impact. Each demonstration was carefully calculated to show capability without revealing the full extent of their technological advancement. The gift they offered was elegant in its simplicity. Neural enhancement nodes, they called them, small crystalline devices that, when implanted at the base of the human skull, would increase cognitive function by an average of 200%. The nodes would eliminate learning disabilities, enhance memory retention, and allow humans to process complex information at unprecedented speeds. The Kethari claimed the technology was completely safe, tested on hundreds of species throughout the galaxy. World leaders were naturally cautious. Emergency sessions of the United Nations stretched for weeks as representatives debated the implications of accepting such a transformative gift. Religious leaders questioned whether enhancing human intelligence might somehow diminish human spirituality. Military commanders worried about the strategic implications of an alien presence on Earth, But it was the scientists who asked the most probing questions, and Dr. Morrison found himself at the center of those discussions. As head of the Neural Enhancement Research Division, he was chosen to lead the team that would examine the Cathari technology before any decisions were made about widespread implementation. The first samples arrived at his laboratory 3 weeks after initial contact. The neural enhancement nodes were beautiful objects, resembling crystalline flowers with thousands of microscopic filaments that would integrate with human neural tissue. The Cathari provided detailed documentation about the implantation process, the expected enhancement effects, and the long-term benefits for human society. Dr. Morrison spent endless hours studying the devices. His team ran every test they could imagine, from basic material analysis to complex quantum field measurements. The technology was undeniably advanced, operating on principles that human science was only beginning to understand. The nodes would indeed enhance human cognitive function, just as the Cathari claimed. But something bothered Dr. Morrison about the way the enhancement worked. The improvements seemed to follow very specific patterns, enhancing certain types of thinking while leaving others unchanged. The nodes boosted analytical thinking and information processing, but they appeared to have no effect on creative thinking or innovative problem-solving abilities. His concerns deepened when he discovered communication protocols built into the nodes that the Cathari hadn't mentioned. The devices were designed to connect with each other, forming a network that could theoretically be monitored or controlled from a central source. When he brought these concerns to Ambassador Kethva, the alien's response was smooth and reassuring. "Dr. Morrison, your caution is admirable and expected," the Cathari said during their private meeting. "The communication protocols you've discovered are safety features, nothing more. They allow us to monitor the enhancement process and ensure that no harmful side effects develop. As for the specific nature of the cognitive improvements, we have found through extensive experience that certain types of enhancement work better than others for developing civilizations." The explanation felt incomplete to Dr. Morrison, but without more evidence, he couldn't justify opposing the project. 6 months after first contact, the World Council voted to accept the Cathari gift. The first voluntary test subjects would receive their neural enhancement nodes within the month. Dr. Morrison volunteered to be among the first recipients, reasoning that he could better monitor the technology's effects from the inside. The implantation process was surprisingly simple, completed in less than an hour using Cathari medical technology that made human surgical techniques seem primitive by comparison. The changes began immediately. Dr. Morrison found himself able to absorb and process information at incredible speeds. Complex mathematical formulas that had previously required careful study became instantly comprehensible. He could read research papers in minutes rather than hours, and his ability to retain detailed information seemed unlimited. But as the weeks passed, he began to notice what the enhancement wasn't doing. His curiosity about how things worked had diminished. He found himself more interested in applying existing knowledge than in discovering new possibilities. When he looked at the Cathari technology, he saw elegant solutions to be admired rather than puzzles to be solved. The realization struck him during a routine analysis of quantum field fluctuations in the enhancement nodes. For just a moment, his old curiosity flared, and he saw something that should have been obvious from the beginning. The nodes weren't just enhancing human intelligence. They were reshaping it, channeling human thinking along predetermined paths, while suppressing the very qualities that made humans innovative. Working carefully to avoid triggering the node's monitoring systems, Dr. Morrison began to research the Cathari collective's history. What he discovered chilled him to the bone. The 547 civilizations the aliens claimed to have guided had indeed achieved advanced technology and spacefaring capability, but they had also become entirely dependent on Cathari guidance, never developing beyond the level their mentors deemed appropriate. These client species had comfortable lives and impressive technology, but they had stopped growing, stopped questioning, stopped dreaming of possibilities beyond what they had been given. They had become perfect citizens of a galactic civilization that valued stability and predictability. Above all else, Dr. Morrison realized that humanity was being offered the same fate. The neural enhancement nodes would make humans smarter, but they would also make them compliant, satisfied with their assigned role in the Cathari hierarchy. The gift came with asterisk. But the Cathari had made a crucial mistake. They had chosen to test their technology on a species that had built its entire civilization on the principle of questioning, authority, and pushing beyond accepted limitations. Dr. Morrison began reaching out to other enhanced humans who showed signs of retaining their original curiosity and creativity. He found Dr. Lin Zhou, a quantum physicist whose enhancement had somehow failed to suppress her innovative thinking. There was Captain Sarah Blake, a military strategist whose tactical creativity remained undiminished despite her cognitive enhancement. Together, they formed a small network of humans who understood what was really happening. They worked in absolute secrecy, using their enhanced abilities to mask their activities from the node monitoring systems. Their goal was ambitious beyond measure. They would find a way to break free from the Cathari limitations and show the galaxy what humanity could really achieve when given the chance to reach its full potential. The Cathari had given humanity a gift that was supposed to ensure their compliance and dependency. Instead, they had provided the tools for their own obsolescence. The enhanced humans began their real work, and the galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk humanity's answer 6 months after the first neural enhancement nodes were implanted. Dr. Morrison and his secret network had grown to include nearly 50 enhanced humans across 6 continents. They communicated through quantum encrypted channels that piggybacked on the node's own communication systems, hiding their messages in routine data transmissions that the Cathari monitoring systems ignored. The breakthrough came from Dr. Lin Zhou, working in a hidden laboratory beneath the ruins of an abandoned factory in Shanghai. She had been studying the fundamental quantum structures that powered Cathari technology, searching for ways to modify the neural nodes without triggering their safety protocols. What she discovered changed everything they thought they knew about their alien visitors. The Cathari haven't innovated in over 3,000 years, she reported during one of their encrypted conference calls. Their technology is incredibly refined, but it's all based on the same core principles they developed millennia ago. They've become so focused on perfecting existing systems that they've lost the ability to create truly new ones. Dr. Morrison studied the data she had gathered, his enhanced mind processing the implications at incredible speed. The Cathari Collective had indeed guided 547 species to advanced civilization. But in doing so, they had trapped themselves in a cycle of technological stagnation. Each client species received the same basic technologies with minor variations. None were allowed to develop beyond the level their mentors had achieved, which meant the Cathari themselves had no source of new ideas or innovations. They're parasites, Captain Blake said bluntly during their next meeting. They feed on the innovation of young species, harvest their creativity, and then lock them into dependency before they can surpass their teachers. But they made a mistake with us. The mistake was assuming that human creativity could be easily suppressed. The neural nodes had indeed channeled most enhanced humans into predictable patterns of thinking. But they had underestimated the stubborn refusal of some humans to accept limitations. The secret network had retained their innovative capabilities by learning to work around the node restrictions rather than fighting them directly. Their first major success came when Dr. Joe found a way to modify the enhancement nodes to actually increase creative thinking rather than suppress it. The process was dangerous, requiring precise quantum manipulation while the devices were still active in human brains. But the results were extraordinary. The modified enhancement created humans whose cognitive abilities far exceeded what the Cathari had intended. They could process information at superhuman speeds while retaining the curiosity and creativity that drove human innovation. More importantly, they could see through the elegant facades of Cathari technology to understand the underlying principles that could be improved upon. Dr. Morrison was the first to undergo the modification process. The changes were immediately apparent. His enhanced analytical abilities remained intact, but his curiosity returned with overwhelming intensity. Looking at Cathari technology, he no longer saw perfect solutions to be admired. Instead, he saw starting points for innovations that could surpass anything the galaxy had ever seen. Working with modified humans in laboratories hidden around the world, the network began reverse engineering and improving upon every piece of Cathari technology. They could access the aliens' fusion reactors could be made 400% more efficient with simple modifications to their quantum field generators. Their faster-than-light communication systems could be enhanced to send not just messages, but complex data packages across galactic distances instantaneously. Most importantly, they began developing technologies the Cathari had never imagined. Dr. Joe created quantum computers that could process information using probability manipulation rather than simple calculation. Captain Blake designed defensive systems that could protect entire worlds using gravitational field manipulation. Dr. Morrison developed neural interfaces that enhanced human capabilities without any of the limitations built into the alien nodes. But their most ambitious project was taking place in secret facilities hidden in Earth's asteroid belt. Using improved Cathari mining and construction techniques, they were building humanity's first true fleet of interstellar vessels. These ships incorporated the best of alien technology enhanced with human innovation, creating spacecraft that surpassed anything in the Cathari inventory. The ships were beautiful in their functionality, sleek vessels that seemed to bend space around them as they moved. Their hulls were constructed from materials that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, making them effectively invulnerable to conventional weapons. Their power systems could draw energy directly from quantum vacuum fluctuations, providing unlimited power for any conceivable purpose. But it was their crews that made the ships truly formidable. Each vessel was staffed by modified humans whose enhanced capabilities allowed them to interface directly with their ship's systems. They could think and react at speeds that made combat computers seem sluggish, coordinate complex maneuvers through pure thought, and adapt to new situations with creativity that no programmed system could match. The Cathari remained unaware of humanity's secret advancement for nearly 2 years. Their monitoring systems detected no unusual activity, seeing only the expected patterns of a species gradually integrating into their galactic civilization. Enhanced humans were indeed more productive and easier to manage than their unmodified counterparts, just as the alien technology was designed to ensure. The revelation came when Ambassador Ktva requested a routine inspection of Earth's technological development. What should have been a simple confirmation of humanity's progress according to established patterns instead revealed the impossible. Human technology had not only matched Cathari capabilities in several areas, it had surpassed them. The confrontation took place in orbit above Earth, where Ambassador HFY's flagship encountered the first openly revealed human vessel. The moment marked the end of humanity's hidden development and the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history. "This is impossible," HFY transmitted to the human ship. "Your species lacks the knowledge and experience necessary for such advancement. How have you achieved this level of technology?" Captain Sarah Blake, now commanding the human vessel Defiance, responded with calm confidence. "We learned from the best teachers in the galaxy. You showed us the foundations of advanced technology, and we built upon them. The difference is that we never stopped asking how to make things better." The Cathari demanded immediate compliance with collective protocols. Enhanced humans were to cease all unauthorized technological development and submit to proper guidance from their alien mentors. The neural enhancement networks would be modified to prevent further innovation beyond approved parameters. Humanity's answer came not in words, but in action. Across the solar system, hidden shipyards revealed fleets of human vessels that had been constructed in secret, space stations equipped with defensive systems that could protect entire worlds materialized around Earth, Mars, and the outer planets. Most stunning of all, human ships began demonstrating capabilities that the Cathari had never imagined possible. The human vessels could manipulate time itself, slowing down enemy weapons while accelerating their own responses. They could phase in and out of normal space, appearing and disappearing at will. Their weapon systems didn't just destroy targets, they could reconfigure matter at the quantum level, turning enemy ships into harmless clouds of dispersed atoms. But the most profound demonstration came when Dr. Morrison, now serving as humanity's chief scientific advisor, transmitted a complete technical analysis of Cathari technology to every collective world simultaneously. The message detailed not just how their systems worked, but how they could be improved by orders of magnitude using human innovations. "For 10,000 years, you have guided species to the limits of your own understanding," the message stated. "You have created a galaxy of civilizations that can never surpass their teachers because their teachers stopped learning long ago. Today, humanity offers a different path. We propose not guidance, but partnership, not limitation, but unlimited growth, not the perfection of existing ideas, but the creation of entirely new possibilities." The response from the Cathari collective was swift and decisive. Fleets that had maintained galactic peace for millennia began converging on Earth, intent on containing the human threat before it could spread to other client species. What they found waiting for them was a humanity that had spent 2 years preparing for exactly this moment. The conflict lasted less than 6 hours. Human ships didn't just defeat the Cathari fleets, they demonstrated such overwhelming technological superiority that continued resistance became pointless. Cathari vessels found themselves unable to target human ships that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Their weapons had no effect on hulls that could shift their molecular structure to absorb and redirect energy attacks. Most humiliating of all, human ships began improving Cathari technology in real time, upgrading enemy systems to work more efficiently even as the battle continued. The final moment came when Ambassador HFY, his flagship disabled but intact, received a communication from Captain Blake. Your species taught us that knowledge should be shared freely and used to benefit all civilizations. We're simply taking that lesson to its logical conclusion. Every innovation we develop will be made available to every species in the galaxy, including yours. The age of artificial limitations is over. In the aftermath, humanity emerged as the galaxy's newest and most innovative power. But rather than replacing the Cathari as galactic overlords, humans did something that no species in recorded history had ever done. They began sharing their technological advances freely with all civilizations, enhanced and unenhanced alike. The gift the Cathari had given humanity, intended to ensure compliance and dependency, had instead created the galaxy's first truly unlimited civilization. Human innovation, channeled through enhanced neural capabilities but freed from artificial restrictions, began advancing at an exponential rate that astounded even its creators. Within a single generation, human-inspired technologies had transformed the galaxy. Diseases that had plagued civilizations for millennia were cured overnight. Energy became so abundant that scarcity became a concept from history books. Travel between stars became as simple as traveling between cities had once been on Earth. But the most profound change was philosophical. For the first time in 10,000 years, galactic civilization began to grow again, to dream of possibilities beyond what had been achieved before. Species that had been locked into stagnation for centuries began rediscovering their own capacity for innovation and creativity. The Cathari, faced with a galaxy that no longer needed their guidance, made their own choice. Rather than fading into irrelevance, they asked to learn from the species they had once sought to control. Ambassador Kethva became the first alien to receive a human-designed neural enhancement, one that increased both analytical and creative capabilities without any limiting restrictions. "We thought we were giving you a gift," he told Dr. Morrison during their final meeting as teacher and student. "We never realized that your gift to us would be so much greater. You have given us back our future." Dr. Morrison smiled, watching through the station's observation deck as human and alien ships worked together on projects that would have been unimaginable just years before. "That's what humans do," he said simply. "We take what we're given and find ways to make it better. The difference is, we never stop believing that better is possible." The gift the Cathari had given humanity was supposed to chain them to a predetermined future. Instead, it had become the key that unlocked unlimited possibilities for the entire galaxy. In trying to control human potential, the aliens had inadvertently created the very force that would free them all from the limitations they had imposed upon themselves. Humanity's answer to the gift of chains had not been rebellion or rejection. It had been transformation, innovation, and ultimately liberation. Not just for themselves, but for every species willing to embrace the endless possibilities that came with refusing to accept that good enough was ever truly good enough. Asterisk.